This is the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, the Overman Exodus Pro founder, EC3. I'm here with Big T, and you're watching Beyond the Ring with Big T. Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
What's up, guys? It's Wardlow here, and you're listening to Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is M-Dog20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you were checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Yes, sir. This is Maserati West Barkley back at you once again, and you're watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the Neon Tarantino, the Ace Degenerate, Super Indie Scorsese, the best professional wrestler in the Midwest, Derek Dillinger, and you're listening to, what is it? Beyond the, what is it?
Beyond the Ring with Big T.
Beyond the Ring with Big T. And that is a wrap. Cut!
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy, Joey Janela, and you're watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you guys right here today. And this is your TNA Impact review and results show here for, what's today? Well, it's for last week, Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. And then, actually, today we're due for another episode of Impact because it's January 9th. But you guys know what I mean. We're doing this from last week because I did not get caught up on it as of yet. But we are here to do that right now. So welcome to the show, guys. I'm your host, Big T, right here with all of you guys today. And I'll tell you what. I am so excited to be here with you guys again to talk about Impact. Because I'll tell you, talking about Impact is like my favorite thing to do. You guys know I did my return for Final Resolution, and that was, when now? That was a few weeks ago. And then TNA, they took a couple of weeks off because they were just doing their best of shows, and it was the holidays. So they took a couple weeks off, and that's why you guys did not see me here, because there was nothing else to report on. But, you know, now, with new shows starting up again, I do have something to report on, so that is why we are here. Alright, guys. So, TNA Impact, I gotta tell you, love it. I love what they're doing. Tessa Blanchard's back. You guys know that's why I made my return, and Tessa Blanchard she made a return at Final Resolution, and now she's making her return to Impact in this show right here that we're about to review. So I'm like super excited, super excited to fill you guys in on everything going with TNA Impact. And just pulling up some notes here that I can read for you guys. Okay. So I do have some stuff here, which we'll get into right now. Okay. So the episode starts off, we're going to start from the top and we'll take it to the main event. But, let's see. But yeah, Tessa Blanchard was on this show, so we'll be talking about it. I hope you guys will stick around. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and New Year's. And very happy holiday season. It's good to be back with all of you. And let's see what we got here. So, hold on here. Close this out. All right. So this week's episode of Impact starts with a in memory of graphic for Jeremy Lehman, who was his wrestling name is Jack Dane, wrestled for the NWA and on the Independents, I believe. My thoughts and prayers go out to Jack Dane's friends and family and fans. And then we get a recap of Final Resolution showing Tessa Blanchard's return and attack on Jordynne Grace. Joe Hendry becoming the challenger for the TNA World title at Genesis. The Hardys retaining the TNA World Tag Team titles, and Joe Hendry saving Nick Nemeth from First Class after Nemeth retained his TNA World title against AJ Francis. And there you go. So, Jordynne Grace, Masha Slamovich, and Spitfire shown arriving to the arena. Start off, Joe Hendry makes his way to the ring, starts off 2025. Hendry gets on the microphone and says that him being the challenger for the TNA World Championship sounds pretty good, and it's been a goal of his, and it's his New Year's resolution. Genesis is all about a new beginning, the beginning of the Joe Hendry era, and a moment that will leave the world chanting, "We believe." Ryan Nemeth interrupts Joe Hendry, that's the brother of TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth. He's coming to the ring with a microphone. Ryan says that his big brother Nick is not going to be happy about this. And he says that Joe Hendry comes out every week, always whining, moaning, and complaining. Hendry is tarnishing Nick Nemeth's legacy, as Hendry thinks he should be a hero, main eventer, and champion, but he's none of those things. He's a mid-carder and a snake, and he plays head games to get ahead in TNA. Ryan says that both he and Nick do not trust Joe Hendry, and no one else should trust him. Joe Hendry says that Ryan is brave to share those stories. Well, Hendry has a story too. He's been having trouble sleeping and went to a doctor. The doctor suggested the Ryan Nemeth comedy special. 10 seconds in, and Hendry was out like a light. So if Hendry is a mid-carder, then Ryan is a janitor. Joe Hendry says Ryan's time for glory is up. Ryan says he will continue having his time later against Rhino, as Hendry says later, why not now? With Rhino's music hits, Rhino comes on out. Tom Phillips on commentary gets confirmation that the match is happening next because it's signed by Santino Marella. Rhino versus Ryan Nemeth one-on-one. Of course, you guys know this is Rhino's last set of tapings with TNA, because he is now officially done with the company. But at the end of this, the match was alright. I mean, everything to be expected really is what happened, because in the end, we thought that that Rhino, that one of two things is going to happen. Either Rhino would win, or somehow Ryan Nemeth would win like via disqualification, something like that, because there's no way he would beat Rhino clean. Well, sure enough, Rhino ends up reaching through the ropes for Nemeth. He gets raked in the eyes. Nemeth grabs a steel chair and brings it in the ring. Rhino stands on the chair so that Nemeth cannot pick it up, and Rhino hits Nemeth with a clothesline. Rhino picks up the chair and hits Nemeth in the back with it. The referee calls immediately for the bell. Your winner by disqualification is Ryan Nemeth. Now, match was what it was. It was a good opener. It did what it needed to do. So Ryan Nemeth won via disqualification. Next up, Gia Miller is backstage with Jordynne Grace. And Miller talks about Tessa Blanchard returning at Final Resolution and attacking Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace says that it's not about chaos, it's about respect. Jordynne says that Tessa wants to come back and say that it's her locker room. Jordynne says no. Jordynne says, I helped build this locker room after Tessa left. Jordynne says she's changed over the years, and then Jordynne says, but Tessa is still the same Tessa. Jordynne Grace says she will be waiting to give Tessa Blanchard the warm welcome that she deserves. And that was the end of that backstage promo. Right away you could tell Jordynne Grace is heated. Tessa Blanchard, is already in the head of Jordynne Grace per storyline, because Jordynne Grace already wants to get back at her. Tessa hasn't shown her face yet. The show has just started. We're one match deep. Jordynne is just waiting for Tessa. And you know what? Meanwhile, Tessa is just sitting back somewhere, probably watching this with a big smile on her face, knowing that she's in Jordynne's head. And Tessa's thinking, you know what? I'll show up. Jordynne will see me, but I'm going to show up when I'm ready to show up. And I'll confront Jordynne when I want. So this is all, the ball is in Tessa's court. She is holding all of this in her hands. It is all on Tessa. And Jordynne could say she wants Tessa right now all she wants. She ain't gonna get Tessa right now, because Tessa will make herself known and make herself seen to Jordynne when Tessa is ready. So, be prepared. We're gonna get to the rest of that later on tonight. TNA Plus commercial airs. Then the Rascals are in the back. Zachary Wentz says that when you talk about the TNA World Tag Team titles, you can talk about the best of the best. Right now, the titles are held by Absolute Legends and the Hardys. Trey Miguel wants to know what people think about the Rascals versus the Hardys for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. The Hardys walk into the frame. Matt Hardy has very kind words for the Rascals and calls them extreme, as he says that TNA Genesis is a huge show and deserves to have a huge match. The Hardys versus the Rascals would be amazing. However, the Hardy train is on a roll lately, and the Rascals are down for it. Then it's on. The Rascals accept the challenge. So there you go. Awesome. Alright, guys. Now we got Kushida going one-on-one against Ace Austin. Ace Austin, he was a tag team partner of Chris Bay. Chris Bay got hurt at Bound for Glory. Still thoughts and prayers with him. Hope he recovers from his, injury that he suffered. And TNA is still taking support to help Chris Bay through his injury and whatnot. It says you can go to TNAWrestling.com / or / whatever that / is, Bay, to help support Chris Bay. But Kushida versus Ace Austin, one-on-one. Now Ace Austin has to go on that big singles run in honor of his partner Chris Bay. Maybe win a singles championship, win the world title. I don't know. But I can't wait to see how the storyline plays out. Kushida basically worked over the left arm of Ace Austin for the majority of this match, and Ace Austin was basically a one-arm man in an ass-kicking contest. And in the end, Austin lifts up Kushida. Kushida punched out of it, and Austin goes for the art of finesse. Kushida blocks it. Austin blocks back to the future from Kushida. Austin hits a spin kick. Both men are slow to get up. When Austin does get up, though, he sets up for it and hits the fold for the 1-2-3 and the pin and the win. Your winner is Ace Austin in a great match with Kushida. Absolutely loved it. Now, after the match is where the story came in. Ace Austin calls for a microphone and thanks everyone for sticking with him during Chris Bay's absence. Along with the love and support everyone has shown for Chris, Chris Bay told Ace Austin that it is his time for a big singles run. They have been top guys for a while, but it is time for Ace Austin to become the top guy and go for the top title. And Ace Austin says he wants Nick Nemeth and the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But, you know, Ace Austin is looking for Nick Nemeth to respond to him. Well, that's not what Ace Austin got. Ace Austin got Moose's music hitting, who Moose is the TNA X Division champion. So Moose gets on the microphone and Moose says he is offended. Ace Austin says that he wants the top title, and he did not even mention Moose's name. Moose says the TNA X Division Championship is the flagship title of the company, and without the X Division, TNA would not be TNA. Without Moose, TNA wouldn't be the hottest wrestling company right now. So, if Austin wants the top title, then he should be going for the X Division Championship, but Moose says it's okay. You know, Moose says he just learned that Ace Austin is afraid of him. Moose goes to talk smack about Chris Bay, but Ace Austin cuts off Moose and calls him a piece of shit, but they bleeped it out. And Austin tells Moose that he was the X Division champion 3 times and carried the company and the division on his back for years. Ace Austin says he might be banged up and Moose might be in a suit, but Ace Austin's like, you know what? I'm willing to become a 4-time X Division champion right now. So Santino Marella, the director of Authority, his music hits. Santino says he appreciates how both Austin and Moose are fired up right now. However, it is not the right time for all of this, but it is clear that Ace Austin is the #1 contender. Therefore, at TNA Genesis, it'll be Moose versus Ace Austin for the X Division Championship. Love it. And, Eric Young is sitting in the back as Steve Macklin is pacing around. Macklin is pissed. Young tells him to calm down. His time will come. Jonathan Gresham enters the frame. He's pissed off too. The System enters the scene. They are talking about how they are going to get their tag titles back. Young, Macklin, and Gresham. Rain punches down on them. And that was pretty much it there. Now, Jordynne Grace is shown in the back waiting for both her match and Tessa Blanchard. A TNA Genesis commercial airs. Now, if you remember when Jordynne Grace is shown in the back, she's sitting in a chair looking down at the entranceway, which is this garage door that you see. You know, to come in from the outside to enter the center stage theater. Keep that in mind when we get into this, you know, later for the end of the show. Now, moment of the week is shown. The Hardys versus DCC versus Decay from January 26, 2017 on Impact is shown. Ryan Nemeth is getting checked by the doctor in the back. The doctor can't tell what's wrong with him as Ryan is doing more complaining than anything else. Ryan complains about Rhino and Joe Hendry. Nick Nemeth enters and wants to know what is going on here. Rhino comes in and says that it was Ryan who brought the chair into the ring in the first place in their match earlier. Santino Marella comes in and says next week it is going to be the Nemeth brothers versus Rhino and Joe Hendry. Rhino believes that he can beat both of them. Joe Hendry enters and says that it'll be a great preview for his win at TNA Genesis. So, looking forward to that tag team match, which is actually tonight now. But Mike Santana comes to the ring with Josh Alexander's headgear as he says that he's been trying to find the words to say what happened after Final Resolution, but he's just going to do what he does best, speak from the heart. He's pissed and upset, but he's used to obstacles, whether it was the streets, going through rehab, or leaving a comfortable place, committing career suicide to come back to TNA. It is time for him to get back to the path of purpose, becoming the standard of TNA. As he says this, he holds up Josh Alexander's headgear. So Mike Santana kind of taunting, I guess, Josh Alexander. But cue the music. Josh Alexander and the Armory come to the ring. Alexander says that everyone wants to be the guy, but very few can actually obtain it. He says he's always liked Santana. Santana has heart, and Alexander feels they were cut from the same cloth. Alexander says that iron sharpens iron and talks about the wars between the North and LAX. The North sent LAX packing. Santana bet on himself back then and did nothing with it. Being the guy can't be willed into existence. You can't just say it if you or you have to make it happen. Alexander talks about beating Christian Cage for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship and losing it right away. He didn't complain. He just went out and beat person after person in his climb to being the standard. So now he is going to speak from the heart. As long as Alexander is in TNA, Santana will never be the guy. Alexander goes to leave the ring and Santana asks him where he's going. He's not done with him yet. Santana says that Alexander's right. Alexander's beat everyone and became the face of TNA. But was it Alexander, or was it Alexander sucking up to the man with the pencil? No, Santana says that it was Alexander. He knows what Alexander's capable of. However, he knows he could beat all three men in the Northern Armory. Therefore, next week he wants to go through the Northern Armory in one night. So it looks like we'll have a gauntlet match with Mike Santana and all the Armory tonight. I can't wait for that. Jordynne Grace is shown waiting again. Masha Slamovich and Spitfire let Jordynne know that their match is up next. Santino Marella shows up and says that he cares about security, the security of everyone, so he will handle things in the back, and Santino calls for security to watch out for Tessa Blanchard. So now we got a TNA Genesis commercial airing, and then we got Frankie Kazarian's in the back. He knows everyone is excited for Nick Nemeth versus Joe Hendry. You know who has cool sunglasses and doesn't give a damn, though? Frankie says he does. He'll be watching the match, though. He then says Leon Slater and tells him that he has it. Slater will never be a king, but can be a prince. Kazarian offers to help Slater. Slater seems into it, as Kazarian says that Slater can start by carrying his trophy for him. Slater says he is not here to run errands or be a young boy, though Kazarian tells him to go create his legacy. Just don't forget who paved the road. As Slater walks away, JDC enters the frame and tells Kazarian that he thinks Slater has potential. He just needs something, maybe a cool monitor. What about the future? They agree that it is a stupid idea. Anyway, Nick Nemeth comes out to the ramp with a microphone as he talks about taking on Joe Hendry at TNA Genesis. He knows that the fans believe in Joe Hendry, but guess what? So does he. Nemeth says he went toe-to-toe with Hendry at Bound for Glory, and Hendry was close to becoming the champion. Nemeth is proud of Joe Hendry. One of the greatest honors in Nemeth's life, though, is representing TNA as the world champion. He lives for it. He says that TNA Genesis will be special. Nick Nemeth then talks about the tag team match that was made for next week. The Nemeth brothers versus Rhino and Joe Hendry. Ryan Nemeth comes out and he tells Nick that Joe Hendry is a snake and will stab him in the back. Therefore, next week, Rhino and Joe Hendry will see why the name Nemeth is synonymous with greatness. Nick reminds Ryan why they are in the match. Ryan and tells him to calm down, and Nick storms away. A commercial for next week's Impact airs as Tom Phillips and Aiden English then talk about next week's action in TNA Genesis. In the back, the security guard, first off, Tom Hannafin used to be known as Tom Phillips, and Matthew Rahwalt used to be known as Aiden English, but that's their names in TNA, which is their real names, which is Tom Hannafin and Matthew Rahwalt. But in the back, the security guard is in the back, down. The security that's in the back is down. Other security guards and Santino Marella are checking on him and wondering what happened. I think we know what's going on, guys. Tessa's here. Tessa Blanchard is here. Man, I love it. I love it. How can you guys not love just every aspect of that? Tessa is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Alright. So, let's see. We got the main event. We have the main event here, guys. And I guess I can read through this match, since this is where Tessa's involvement comes in. So let's go here. TNA Knockouts champion Masa Slamovich and Jordynne Grace, and TNA Knockouts Tag Team champion Spitfire going up against Tasha Steelz, Rosemary, Ash by Elegance, and Heather by Elegance with the personal concierge. So it's an 8 Knockouts Tag Team match for TNA in the main event of the evening. Masha Slamovich and Tasha Steelz start things off, exchanging right hands right away. Slamovich tangles with Steelz up in the ropes and gets a kick to the head. Slamovich hair mares Steelz a few times and then gets reversed by Steelz. Steelz charges in the corner, but Slamovich stops her and lifts her to the second rope. Steelz swings out of it and tags in Rosemary. Rosemary rushes Slamovich in the corner, but Slamovich gets her legs up and drives Rosemary down. Jordynne Grace tags in and double teams Rosemary with Slamovich as they slam Rosemary down hard. Slamovich slams Grace down onto Rosemary for a 2 count as Grace hits a couple of tackles for a 2 count. Ash by Elegance runs in, goes after Grace, and that triggers everyone to enter the ring and go after each other. Grace, Slamovich, and Spitfire hit a 4-person suplex. Slamovich and Grace then hold the ropes so that Spitfire can hit a dive on all 4 competitors. Back from commercial, Heather by Elegance gets caught by Danny Luna. Luna hits a fallaway slam, and Luna hits the ropes and gets tagged in by Jody Threat. As Spitfire hits a series of running strikes on Heather for a 2 count. Threat goes for a slam, but Heather wiggles out and tags in Steelz. Threat tackles down Steelz and tags in Luna. Luna slams Steelz. Luna then slams Threat onto Steelz and covers for a 2 count. Steelz hits a jawbreaker on Luna and tags in Ash. Ash goes for a suplex, but Luna powers out and tags in Threat. Spitfire hits a delayed double suplex on Ash for a 2 count as the personal concierge distracts Threat, allowing Ash to attack from behind. Ash takes control of Threat in the corner as she stomps at Threat and gets a 2 count, and Ash tags in Heather. Heather works over Threat's legs and then slaps on a chin lock as Threat powers up and runs up the ropes as Heather drags down Threat by the hair and gets a 2 count as Heather rains down punches on Threat as Threat then tries to fight back, but Heather cuts her off. Heather distracts the referee, allowing Rosemary to attack Threat. Heather snapmares Threat and gives her a big kick in the back for a 2 count. Rosemary tags in and stomps on Threat. Back from the commercial break. Rosemary still has control on Threat and tags in Ash. Ash stomps down on Threat in the corner and gets a 2 count. As Threat is whipped into the corner, Ash hits his handspring back elbow for a 2 count. Ash slaps on a chin lock, and then Threat powers out of it, but Ash drags her down and gets another 2 count as Ash sends Threat into the corner and tags in Rosemary, and then Rosemary gives Threat an elbow and slaps on a chin lock. Threat tries to fight out of it, but Rosemary gets her into the corner, and Threat knocks her opponents off the apron. Rosemary grabs her and lifts her up to the second rope as Threat fights Rosemary off and hits a spinning suplex. Both women are slow to get up. Threat is able to tag in Grace. Ash then tags in. Grace comes in hot and takes it to Ash as she hits a rolling fireman's carry and tries for the Juggernaut driver as Ash fights it off, but Grace hits a slam and a Vader bomb as Steels breaks up the pin and tags herself in. Grace cuts Steals off and tags in Slamovich. Slamovich hits a series of strikes and a rolling kick. Rosemary breaks up the pin. Luna powerbombs Rosemary and Heather hits a spinning DDT on Luna. Grace drops Heather. Ash drops Grace. Threat slams Ash. Steels kicks Threat. Steels then hits the blockout on Slamovich. Spitfire breaks up the pin as the Elegance brand goes after Spitfire on the outside as Grace and Slamovich try to double team Steels, but Steels fights it off as she hits a cutter on Jordynne. Slamovich hits Requiem on Steels for the 1-2-3 and the pin and the win. Your winners are Macha, Slamovich, Jordynne Grace, and Spitfire. And that was the end of the match. Now, the story comes after the match. This right here is what we've been waiting for. And I know this is what I've been waiting for personally to talk about. Because this is where all the bread and butter is, folks. As Masha, Slamovich, Jordynne Grace, and Spitfire celebrate their victory, Tessa Blanchard runs into the ring and attacks Jordynne Grace. I was like, oh yeah. And you know what? Tessa Blanchard ran right in the ring. She blew past everybody as if there was nobody in the ring but Jordynne Grace. Tessa had tunnel vision. Tunnel vision that is specific for Jordynne Grace. I mean, perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I loved it. Loved it. She ran right in, took Jordynne right down, as fast as you can snap your finger like that. Tessa had Jordynne on the ground. She ran in the ring, attacked Jordynne Grace. So Rosemary, this leads to a fight all the way around. Rosemary pulls Masha Slamovich out of the ring and spits the mist in her eyes. Meanwhile, Tessa Blanchard and Jordynne Grace are fighting all around the arena, fighting all the way to the back. And this was great. Tessa's aggression. Meanwhile, Jordynne really wasn't getting an offense. Tessa was the one that was getting all the offense in, beating Jordynne Grace around that arena. And Tessa's aggression. I love Tessa's just pure aggression. The aggression that you see on Tessa is unbelievable. Jordynne Grace, Jordynne Grace, she's been at the top of TNA's women's division, I know, but I mean, her time is up, guys. Her time is up. It's about Tessa Blanchard now, and it's Tessa Blanchard's time to shine in TNA. That's for damn sure. Now, let's see. So, as Tessa Blanchard and Jordynne Grace, they fight all the way to the back. Tessa Blanchard is throwing Jordynne Grace into the walls backstage, then threw her into a steel door and rammed her head against the door a few times. And then, next thing you know, Jordynne Grace is down. Tessa Blanchard gets, I believe it was Jordynne Grace's bag. like with her gear and stuff in it, and she takes the strap from the bag and she puts it around Jordynne Grace's neck and her throat, pulls on it, and Tessa's dragging Jordynne all the way down the ramp through the garage door to the outside area of the arena. I guess where the parking is and what have you. So Tessa drags Jordynne all the way there. Now, this is the kicker, drags her all the way outside, Tessa then tells Jordynne, that, you think, that this is your company, this is the face of your company. No, I'm back, this is my company, and I'm here to take back what is mine. Tessa then walks over to the garage door. Tessa closes the garage door and then wipes her feet. This is to kick back dirt, and goes like this, as if to say she just took out the trash. And I loved it. I loved it. Tessa basically just told everybody, every TNA fan and viewer, that Jordynne Grace is the past, she is the future and the present right here, right now, and she just took out the trash by what she did to Jordynne Grace right there in that spot. Awesome. Can't get no better than that. Now, meanwhile, Tessa, we see Tessa walking back up the ramp, then she goes in the backstage area, she just tells everybody back there, she's like, get out of my way. She's letting everybody know, like, hey. Basically, with Tessa's body language and her aggression, she's basically telling the whole TNA locker room, watch out. You don't want to fuck with me because I'm pissed. I'm here to take back what's mine, and I'm not taking anybody's shit. We're getting down to business, and I'm taking my company back. I love it. I love how Tessa's being booked. I love the attitude that Tessa has. I love the aggression that Tessa has. I mean, everything is just, it's perfect. It is picture perfect. You can't get better than this whole thing with Tessa Blanchard. And the way she's being booked is amazing. I want Tessa. Tessa needs to be... She needs to face Jordynne Grace. Alright, so Jordynne Grace will be somebody that Tessa's going to obviously beat at Genesis on January 19th. Now, after Genesis, I don't know what you can do with Tessa at that point, but I would say TNA's big pay-per-view, one of their big pay-per-views is Rebellion, right? In April, I believe. Either by Rebellion in April or Slammiversary in July, Tessa Blanchard needs to be challenging Masha Slamovich for the TNA Knockouts Championship. That's the only route you need to go. Period. We need Tessa Blanchard as TNA Knockouts Champion. Period. Simple as that. That's what needs to happen. It has to happen. I wouldn't even mind if they booked Tessa Blanchard to go after the TNA World Championship, just like she's won before. Tessa has had a classic feud and classic matches with Sami Callihan, if you guys remember, 5 years ago. 5 years ago. You know what? Have her run the Knockouts division and have her run even the heavyweight division and go after somebody like Nick Nemeth or if Joe Hendry wins the title. Can you imagine Tessa running both divisions? If TNA really wants to do something really impactful, okay? Tessa winning the Knockouts Championship, yeah, that's great, and I'm glad for that. But, I mean, if they really want to do something and Tessa really wants to grab a hold of this company and TNA really wants to play that out in a storyline, what about having Tessa Because if you remember, Tessa, she was Knockouts champion before. Then they moved her to the heavyweight division, and she was just competing with, the men like Sami Callihan and so on and so forth in the men's division. But what if they do something different with Tessa this time? Don't just keep her in the Knockouts division. Don't just keep her in the heavyweight division. What if you have her work both divisions? Have her literally at the top of both divisions in this company. Tessa would basically run the company. She would be the face of TNA, literally. She'd be the face of your men's division, the face of your women's division. Do you realize that Tessa can break those barriers? That you could classify it as she's not just a face of any specific division, how a lot of people like to say the champion's the face of this division. It'll be the women's champions, the face of the women's division, the men's champions, the face of the men's division. What if? Just saying, not saying it's going to happen, I wish it would, but just imagine and say that Tessa Blanchard is the Knockouts champion and the TNA World Heavyweight champion. What if she's running both divisions? She's not just the face of a division. Tessa, at that point, is the whole entire face, just one face, the whole face of the TNA brand and the TNA company as a whole. And she would have the major divisions in that company ran. She'd be the champions of those major divisions. Think about it. It would be TNA is Tessa. And I love the sound of that. Because you know what? Or you know what? Let's reverse that. It would be Tessa is TNA. Because the way I look at it now, Tessa is TNA wrestling. She is. She's the top star they have. So when you have a top star like Tessa, make sure that she really is the face of the entire company and brand, and have her run both divisions, have her run everything in TNA wrestling. That's just my opinion. That's what I would go with, and I wish that the executives at TNA Wrestling would just go forward and do as such. But, after Tessa was in the back, they go back to the ring real quick. The Elegance brand is holding up the TNA Knockouts Tag Team titles as the episode fades to black. And that's how Impact went off the air. So, it was great. It was great, guys. It really was. I can't wait to see what's going to happen tonight on Impact. I hope that Tessa will be on the show. I really do hope that she will, because I want to see this storyline progress. I know they said we're going to hear from Jordynne Grace tonight. Now, basically what they're saying is, right here, Jordynne Grace Jordynne Grace to address Tessa Blanchard's attack on tonight's episode of TNA Impact. So a new segment has been announced for this week's episode of TNA Impact, ahead of the weekly 2-hour TNA on Access TV, TNA Plus, and Sportsnet primetime Thursday night program. TNA Wrestling has announced that fans will hear from the juggernaut Jordynne Grace. On last week's episode of TNA Impact, Jordynne Grace was savagely attacked by the returning Jordynne Grace and thrown out of the building by Tessa Blanchard at the very end of the broadcast. And also scheduled for tonight's January 9th episode of TNA Impact are the following matches and segments. Savannah Evans is in action. We'll hear from Jordynne Grace. The Rascals versus the Good Hands in tag team action. Nick Nemeth and Ryan Nemeth versus Joe Hendry and Rhino in a tag team match. Gauntlet match, Mike Santana takes on all members of the Northern Armory. And the System versus Eric Young, Jonathan Gresham, and Steve Macklin. The main event, of course, will be the Nemeths against Ryan. The Nemeths against Rhino and Hendry. That'll be the main event. But, And I wonder, we'll hear from Jordynne Grace. So will it just be a backstage segment with Jordynne Grace? Will we be getting a video response from Jordynne Grace? Will she be via satellite somewhere? Or is Jordynne Grace actually going to be live in the building in the ring? This is what I want to know. This is what I really want to know. So, all I hope is that we see Tessa Blanchard on the show tonight. And hopefully there will be a match made. Hopefully it's going to be Jordynne Grace challenging Tessa Blanchard to a match at Genesis. And Tessa Blanchard will come on and accept. And hopefully we get the match announced. Tessa Blanchard, Jordynne Grace, one-on-one at Genesis on January 19th. And obviously, that's heavily rumored to be Jordynne Grace's last match ever in TNA, as she is ready. Her contract is up. She's ready to go over to WWE and compete in the Women's Royal Rumble match on February 1st. That'll be just 2 weeks after Genesis itself. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it's going to be good. And then after Genesis, I would say Tessa gets a big win over Jordynne Grace, and Jordynne will be on her way out of TNA. You get Tessa getting a big win, and then Tessa can, be on her push to move up the ladder. And I want this to be the start of Tessa's complete takeover of TNA wrestling. I love it. I love it. And I love Tessa Blanchard. She is awesome, guys. Now, let's take a look at the chat real quick. What's up, Darth? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well. It's great to see you back. And what's up, Hunter? What's up, Hunter? Hey, January 2nd. This show I'm reviewing was your 20th birthday. That's awesome. Happy belated birthday, Hunter. Glad to see you back. Everybody here, don't forget, if you can, please donate to the show using PayPal. Click on the link I left in the live chat here. It's also pinned, it's pinned to the live chat. It's at the top of the description of this video and every video that I do, and there's a PayPal button on my YouTube homepage. Make sure that you guys take advantage of that. I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, guys, Hunter, you're welcome. As I said last week, a few weeks ago actually, when I reviewed Final Resolution, just in case you're wondering, I'm back because Tessa Blanchard is back, and I couldn't be happier. So I'm going to be covering everything in TNA Impact Wrestling that Tessa Blanchard's going to be involved in, because I cannot wait to see what she's going to do here. I am so looking forward to it. I love it. This even made some headlines here in the news last week after TNA Impact went off the air. It says, Tessa Blanchard throws Jordynne Grace out of TNA. I love it. Let's read it. Tessa Blanchard made an impact again with the surprise beatdown of Jordynne Grace. Tessa went so far to throw Jordynne out of the TNA locker room, and it was badass, guys. Like I said, it was badass. I loved it. Tessa, just unbelievable work. I love how they're starting her off on this run in TNA. The booking is incredible so far. Now, Tessa Blanchard returned to TNA Wrestling at Final Resolution to ambush Jordynne Grace. The statement being that Tessa is back, in the Knockouts division then we had the 2-week break. After the holiday break, fresh episodes of Impact of the story continued on Thursday night, January 2nd of 2025. Jordynne Grace, she was waiting on Tessa this time. Tessa's plan just happened to be smarter than Jordynne's. Even though Jordynne, the Juggernaut, was wrestling in the 8-woman tag team main event, Jordynne Grace made sure to sit by the arena entrance to monitor the access of who comes in and out of the building. Jordynne Grace explained that Tessa Blanchard walked out on TNA, and that Jordynne says she isn't going to let Tessa Blanchard come back and reap the benefits of her hard work to build the Knockouts division. So time ticked away, and the main event got closer. Still, we have not seen Tessa Blanchard. Time was up. Jordynne Grace had to head to the ring. So Santina Morello, the director of authority, assigned security to watch the door. Now, as I said in the review, what do you know, a short time later, cameras caught the security man knocked out. Who could have done it? Well, come on, guys. We know it's Tessa Blanchard. It's awesome. So Jordynne Grace teamed with Masha Slamovich, Jody, Threat, and Danny Luna to defeat Ash by Elegance, Heather by Elegance, Tasha Steelz, and Rosemary as the babyfaces celebrated with their backs turned to the stage, and boom. Tessa Blanchard attacked Jordynne Grace. Tessa took Jordynne backstage to the entrance. Tessa choked Jordynne with a strap and dragged her into the parking lot. And Tessa Blanchard just raged. Get the hell out and stay out. I'm the one that put this division on the map, Jordynne. And now I'm taking my locker room back. Tessa Blanchard slammed shut the steel garage door to block the entrance as Jordynne Grace was laying out there. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. You couldn't get better than that. This is just awesome, guys. Damn, that was awesome. And it was a hell of a way by Tessa Blanchard to violently assert dominance. And it was a great visual. Just everything. It was awesome to see just everything all around. Now, Jordynne Grace, getting handled like that and having the door shut in her face, again, awesome. It was just awesome all the way around. Now, bad blood will be boiling when Tessa Blanchard presumably wrestles Jordynne Grace at the TNA Genesis pay-per-view on January 19, 2025, and the match is not official yet, but I think it's pretty much all but official at this point. But I cannot wait for that match, guys. And that was TNA Impact for Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. So now we'll see what happens going forward on TNA Impact. If Tessa Blanchard makes an appearance tonight, I'll review the show coming up anytime between, anywhere from tonight into next week, depending. If Tessa Blanchard does not make an appearance and it's just Jordynne Grace doing, a quick talking point, I will probably wait, and then the next time we see Tessa Blanchard on television is when I'll come back and do a review, and then I'll work in what Jordynne had to say from tonight's Impact into, that week's Impact whenever Tessa makes an appearance, but hopefully she does make an appearance tonight. So, we'll see. But as far as what I gotta say, in my score, I gotta say TNA Impact Wrestling, this episode for Thursday, January 2nd, 2025, kicked off the new year in the right way, started it off great. Tessa Blanchard's back, guys, and I gotta give TNA Impact Wrestling for Thursday, January 2nd, 2025, a good old 10 out of 10, plus the 2 thumbs up and the big T seal of approval. Awesome show. Awesome show. So, love it, guys. Anyway, I'll see when I'm going to be back. I know a lot of you guys might be asking about WWE and AEW content. I might start doing it's not going to be full-fledged reviews like this, just because, I'm putting all my focus into Tessa Blanchard's run now in TNA Impact Wrestling. Even though I'm still watching the other products, I'm putting, as far as podcasting, all my focus is coming here to Tessa Blanchard and supporting Tessa Blanchard on this current run that she's on. But for those of you that are interested in WWE and AEW content, I might do short little, maybe 5-minute reviews, that are just recorded and uploaded where I've still shot pictures and I can give you guys a quick review of the winners and losers and just a quick thought of what I had on the show just to make it real fast. You might see things like that. I'm not going to guarantee it. I don't know for sure, but we'll see. Play it by ear. But one thing you will get for sure is everything TNA Impact when Tessa Blanchard is on the show, and same thing with their pay-per-views, because I am supporting Tessa through this entire run. I am. And I hope that all of you will join me and come along for the ride, because this is going to be a fun one. As far as TNA Impact Wrestling goes, great. Great show. They're on a roll, and we'll see what happens going forward. But guys, I really appreciate all of you showing up, and your support coming on in here, supporting the show. It's great to be back. Please leave your likes, comments, and subscribe to the channel. Please donate to the show using PayPal. The PayPal link's pinned to the top of the YouTube live chat, and it's at the very top of the description of this video and every video that I do, and it's on the PayPal button on my YouTube homepage, so I hope you guys go and check all that out. And before we kick it on over to the outros from EC3, Wardlow, my buddy Wardlow, how about that? How do you guys like that on the new intro and outro? So got a couple new things for the show as well, but that's going to do it for me, guys. So I'll see you guys next time. Yes, there will be a next time here when I do another TNA Impact Wrestling review results show. Don't forget us and we won't forget you. And if you want the best, and I mean the absolute best for all of your professional wrestling needs, right here on the internet, right here on YouTube.com today, always remember to think beyond the ring with Big T. And of course, everybody, always remember, never ever forget that I'm your host, Big T, and I will see all of you at the matches. I'll see all of you the next time I'm live for TNA Impact Wrestling, and hopefully Tessa Blanchard and Jordynne Grace gets made official tonight. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. But, so take care, everybody. And, of course, you guys know I'll be here covering everything Tessa Blanchard and TNA Impact. But take care, everybody. I love you all. And, of course, I'm your host, Big T. I'll see all of you at the matches. Good night, everybody, and we love you, Tessa.
This is the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, the Overman, Exodus Pro founder, EC3. I'm here with Big T, and you're watching Beyond the Ring with Big T. Cool. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
What's up, guys? It's Wardlow here, and you're listening to Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy, Jrodynne, and you're watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is M-Dog20, Matt Cross. We're in Cleveland, Ohio, and you are checking out Beyond the Ring with my man, Big T. Thank you, man. Big T.
Yes, sir. This is Maserati West Barkley back at you once again, and you're watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the Neon Tarantino, the Ace Degenerate, Super Indie Scorsese, the best professional wrestler in the Midwest, Derek Dillinger, and you're listening to, what is it? Beyond Beyond the Ring with Big T. Beyond the Ring with Big T. And that is a wrap. Cut!
Hello, this is EC3 of TNA Wrestling, and you are so very fortunate because you are watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.
This is the bad boy, Jrodynne, and you're watching Beyond the Ring with Big T.